And now, a thought from man. You know, I can honestly say 2015 was a really good year in animation, especially in TV shows. This year had really good cartoons coming from Disney Channel, Cartoon Network, and hell, even Nickelodeon. But I really want to look at what were some of the best animated TV shows of 2015. So that's what I'm going to look at now. This is the top 5 best animated TV shows of 2015. Number 5. Wabbit, a Looney Tunes production. Now, when I first heard of this show, I'll admit I was actually intrigued because I heard it was going back to the short formats and one-off adventures of Looney Tunes. So I did have some high expectations for this. I really wanted to see, could they return the Looney Tunes back to their original formula? And they did. It's it's pretty good. It's got the nice slapstick. It's great one-off adventures. They introduced some new villains. It's good. I like this. It's a very nice return to form for the Looney Tunes. But I can admit I'm a little bit disappointed that there aren't that many Looney Tunes. The main thing is it's more about Bugs Bunny. We haven't seen Daphne, we don't see Porky, we don't see Elmer even, oddly enough. But the initial cast that they do have, mainly Wile E. Coyote and Yosemite Sam, that's still a good obstacle for Bugs to overcome. So, yeah, this is a good show, and I really like this, and this is my number 5.
That'll do. Now that's how it's done.
Number 4. Be Cool, Scooby-Doo. Now, I'll be honest, I really had some low expectations for this show. The redesigns just turned me off. The name was enough to turn me off. But I decided, you know what? I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna see just how bad it is. And after watching it, I have to say, this is one of the better Scooby-Doo incarnations in recent years. It's just really funny. It's enjoyable. I like what they do with the characters now. They have more split personalities, and they're a lot more different from what you've seen. This one tries a lot harder at trying to be funny. Now, I originally liked Mystery Incorporated. I thought that was the best one, and to be honest, I still do kind of think that one is the better one, but this one's a really good incarnation for Scooby-Doo. It's very fun. It's funny. Hell, they managed to get me to laugh at one of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo's eating montages.
Tasty teas, you're everything that everyone wants. We're eating cheese.
I never laugh at those. I just think, oh great, Scooby and Shaggy eating, whatever. But here, they literally build it up for the whole episode, and when it happens, I'm laughing. I get a legit laugh from it. Anyone that can make me laugh at that, you're doing something right. And that's why that is my number 4.
You're in my house now, son.
Number 3. Harvey Beaks. I tell you now, I had minor expectations for this show. When I first heard about it, when it was called Bad Seeds, I thought, looks like some thing Nickelodeon's gonna have, whatever. It didn't look that interesting. But when I watched it, it was good. I really liked the childlike nature of it. It was more down to earth. Even though it has a weird fantasy element to it, it still feels more down to earth. And I really like how the characters are. I like how the kids interact with each other. They actually act like kids. And I'm like, yes, that is how you should do it.
That jerk Bartlebert turned me into this. I understand if you don't want to hang around me no more. Me being a scary ghost and all.
I don't think you're scary.
Yeah,
not any more than usual.
Aren't you afraid I'll eat your face and poop it in the woods?
Do you feel like eating my face?
No, not really.
They're not just kids trying to be adults, they feel and act like actual kids. I like how Harvey is. He's definitely a flawed character. He makes mistakes mainly trying to do the right thing. He's always a goody two-shoes. But the lesson here is, sometimes it's okay to be a little bad here and there. It's okay to do some bad. And that's... you don't see that in a lot of kid shows. Most of the time they'll have a character who's just really bad, but wants to be good. Here it's flipped on its head. It's a good character trying to do good, but ends up doing bad. And that works just fine. I really like that dynamic. And that's why this is my number 3.
That's brilliant! Yeah!
Number 2. Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Now this was a tough call, but when you see my number 1, you'll understand. I really like this show. I had so much hype for this show, and after watching it, it lived up to my hype and more. It really is a good show. I like what they do with it. I like a lot of the characters. I like the dynamic between Star and Marco. The whole thing of the show is it sort of pays homage to the whole magical girl anime genre.
Radiance Shadow Transform!
Whoa! Do me!
Radiance Shadow Transform!
And that's always nice. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fun. One gripe I might have is I just don't find myself laughing as much as I wish I could. Even though the characters are nice and silly, I love Star's hyperactivity. I really do. But I admit I don't find myself laughing too much at it. It's definitely a funny show and I do laugh at it. It's just not as much as I want to laugh at it. But for what it does do right, it does right. And I really like this show. And that's why this is my number 2.
Really? Hugs!
And now, honorable mentions. We Bare Bears. Now, if I had a top 10 list, I definitely would have put this on there. It would have had a number 6 spot. But sadly, there weren't that many animated TV shows, so I couldn't really make a top 10 list. I could only go for a 5, and Wabbit beat this out. It's a good show, but it definitely dates itself by being a part of modern times and all that. And the main premise is usually the bears going against hipsters in San Francisco, so yeah, it's definitely not something everyone would enjoy. Miraculous Ladybug. I like this show, but it didn't come to America until December, so I can't really put this on the list. I do like this show, I do think it's good, but it does kind of fall into the category of your typical teenage superhero TV show. So yeah, I wouldn't put this on a top 5 list. Maybe it would have made it if it was a top 10 list. And the number 1 best animated TV show of 2015 is Penn Zero Part-Time Hero.
I've dreamed of this ever since I was 6 years old.
I really mean that. This is the best show. The characters are great, the situations are great, everything they do about this show is just great. And that's the thing, this show, no one really had much hype for it. When we saw it, we thought, looks okay, looks like a typical Disney show that we'll probably tune into if it's on, or just won't change the channel on. But it exceeded my expectations. It did everything right. The characters are memorable. The situations they go through, a lot of them end up being parodies, but they still create great characters. They don't feel like they're just making a cheap pun of a popular thing. They'll make fun of a whole genre, make a whole world based on a movie genre or a TV show genre. And That's just what's so great about this show. If you don't watch these certain genres or certain films or movies, it still holds up on its own. You don't have to watch those certain things to get the joke. If you don't get the joke, you don't get the joke, but there are other jokes that are still very good that you wouldn't need to know any other type of source material. It just works so well. Penn and his friends are just great characters. They're well written. They have their own personalities. They have their own flaws. And they work well off each other. Ripon is such a great villain. And Larry, I mean, come on. You cannot hate Larry. The way they wrote this guy, you cannot hate him.
The nerve of that boy lecturing me. We are two in sync. I always anticipate your moves. That elephant can't fly. Catch me! Oh, Larry, what are you doing? Yes, I'm the head. What are you, the chest? Huh? With the leg? Let's not talk about it, okay? And stop scratching my face.
All in all, this is just such a great show. It was a sleeper hit. It was a show we didn't think too much of. We heard of it, but we didn't think it was really gonna be that good. But when we saw it and it premiered, it blew out our expectations. And that is why this is the best animated show of 2015. But that's just a thought.